Are you a fan favorite? Welcome back to Tarot and Beyond. Today's reading is looking at your fan status, how favored you are, or how positively you are looked upon, and specifically what is helping your image or what is creating that effect. So we're going to dive into some of my favorite decks, my fan favorite oracle and tarot decks in this reading. We're also going to get charms. So we have 3 options as usual to choose from. We have group 1's reading, which is represented here by the magic card, group 2's reading here with initiation, and group number 3 with descend. So select whichever group or particular card feels like it's calling to you, and use the timestamps linked in the description box or the chapter notes below to jump ahead to your chosen reading or readings, and we'll see you there. All right, welcome group number 1. You guys chose the magic card, and I feel like a lot of the fan favoritism for you is coming as a result of how you see yourself. So as you can see, this person in the card is doing some kind of magic spell work on her reflection or to the mirror. So I think improving your sense of self or the way that you see yourself is boosting your confidence, or it's giving you a sense of power. And in that, I think other people are picking up on that. I did just hear the word glamour magic. Okay, so that could be specific to some of you who are using specific spells to appear more beautiful or desirable, physically speaking. Now, this can be intentional, like you could have actual spells, that incantations or rituals and things like that, or these could be unintentional in the form of your hygiene or your beauty routines, or how you take care of yourself, or just how you look at yourself, maybe even positive affirmations that you're saying to yourself in the mirror. All of these things are spells in the sense that you are magic inherently, and everything that you do is creating your reality. So whether you're doing it with the witchy mindset or not, you are doing magic, whether, like I said, it's intentional or not. So let's take a look at some more information. Actually, let me put this up here. I want to get some cards. Let's see. Yeah, I think we're going to start with the Wisdom of the Oracle. Let's take a look at that, and then we'll go into a couple of other oracle decks and tarot, and then some charms as well. Oh, I do feel this card. Tick tock. Tick tock goes the clock. Sorry, I keep forgetting how to hold it like that so that it doesn't get that glare from my box lights. Yeah, so tick tock. Oh, that's interesting. I mean, quite literally, the app TikTok, right? Like that you could have a fan following, or you could be very popular on TikTok for talking about some kind of affirmations or spell work that you're doing. I know that there's a huge community of witchy aesthetic, witchy era people on TikTok. Even though I'm not on TikTok, I'm too old for that. But it feels like something about that app is important for you specifically. If you are on TikTok, this is a message for you. If you're not, it doesn't mean that you need to jump on the app and get like with the program or something. No. It's just kind of like, if that's something you're already doing, that could be an area where you're seeing a lot of favoritism, or you're seeing a lot of positive feedback about what you're talking about, which could be related to magic. It could be related to aesthetics. It could be related to beauty, anything like that. I feel like you're giving people something, and that's another reason why you're a fan favorite. They just showed me the way that these 2 hands are presenting this stopwatch, and it feels like you're giving people something that maybe helps them to I just heard waste their time, but I don't think anything is technically a waste of time. I think there's a reason for everything, even if it's like seems like there's no reason to it. There totally is. So you could be giving some community of people something that is entertaining or transformative. I just did see that as well. Transformative, or something that kind of gives people back, or turns back the clock. I'm getting like a beauty blogger type of vibe here. If this is you that I'm talking to, if you're a beauty blogger, or you've been interested in creating beauty blogger content or beauty videos or something like that, this could be something to talk about. Maybe looking at, anti-aging or pro-aging. Actually, that's what I prefer to call it. Instead of anti-aging, let's pro-age, let's age gracefully, and we can support ourselves in looking our best. So this does have a feel of aesthetics. It very much, I'm getting that vibe of like beauty and the magic of seeing yourself in a positive way. So really, it doesn't even have to do quite so literally with physical beauty. This could have to do with emotional self-love and self-acceptance. It could be body positivity. It could be, graceful aging. It could be something like that, where you're embracing all of who you are and enhancing that. You're really just enhancing what's already there. You're not trying to change it or alter it or hide it or shame it or run from it or anything like that. It feels like a very positive thing. And giving people these tools or showing people these things, whether you're doing it on social media or not, you could just be talking about this to people and helping them to turn back the time in terms of how they see themselves, maybe going back to more childlike or innocent perspective. And that's really the magic. So I think that your fan favoritism is really coming from how you see yourself and how you show other people how to do that as well. And in regard to the time wasting comment or that message that was coming through earlier, I think that people may spend a lot of time listening to you. I don't think that it's a waste. Like I said, it's not. It is an investment of their time, and you are giving people your time as well, right? Like you're offering up your time, your energy, your magic to other people. And I think that, again, that's something that is making you a favorite here. Okay, actually, I was going to jump into the tarot, but let me just put this to the side for a second. And I do feel called to the Coffee Cup Oracle. This is one of my favorite decks of all of the decks that I own. And I want to say thank you to the anonymous donor who sent these in through my Amazon wish list in the description box. I so appreciate all of the decks that you guys have sent in, and especially this one. I just love it so much. So let's take a look. Desire and attraction. You see what I mean here? It's like you are a very attractive person. Your magic is in your beauty or in your aesthetic or in your charm, perhaps as well. You could be a very charming person. You have a very distinct personality, what's the word I'm looking for here? Unique, a very unique look as well. I feel like you have a very specific aesthetic, and your personality matches that in some way. I do feel like you are very magical in terms of your magnetism, and I think a lot of that comes from how you look, how you feel, and how you present yourself. And energetically, you are very, very strong, a very strong manifester, group number one. Your ability to attract things to you and to repel what is not for you is very strong. And again, I think it's coming from the fact that you are inherently magical, but it's also because you have built yourself up in this way. You do this kind of spell work for yourself, where you're enhancing how you see yourself, where you are setting positive intentions, manifesting maybe consciously and intentionally, saying affirmations in the mirror. But they did also just show somebody doing scripting, so you could be writing down positive perspectives on your life, or positive affirmations of the future, or goals that you have, or ideas. It's like I see you really focusing a lot on your self-development, and I think a part of that is your physical appearance and how you feel about yourself in that regard. But also, I think most of it, like, that's just the tip of the iceberg. The big bulk of the iceberg underneath is actually how you feel. And that is the vibrancy that really comes through and that makes you a fan favorite. So you're very, very attractive. A lot of people might even desire you. You could be very, there could be sexuality involved here as well. Like you could be a very good looking person. I'll just put it that way. Like you're very attractive. Okay. And I think that's what draws people in. I do feel these too. So let's get those. Justice documents with the scales. Now, the first thing that I saw when I saw this was like Libra. It looks like Libra, and Libra is ruled by Venus, which is the planet of beauty and aesthetics and value, as well as femininity. So whether you're male or female, I do see a lot of beauty here. I do see the scales tipping in your favor, right? This is the fan favoritism that we're talking about here, is the attraction that you have, the desire that people have to want to listen to you or to watch you or to be around you. If it's a physical thing, people just are drawn to your energy. You're very magnetic. Like I said, it's because you're so magical. And this really, really has a positive effect. It does tip the scales in your favor. So you have to be responsible with that. Group number one, obviously, you don't use that in a manipulative way, but you can use it to shape your reality in a positive sense with positive regard and intention. And you have the pearl, hidden gem. I can't believe how beautiful these cards are coming out together. It just feels like, again, beauty and aesthetic. The pearl reminds me of Venus, and I was just talking about Venus because I was reminded through the scales of Libra. So yeah, it all kind of fits together here. And the pearl is that gem that you have. It could be a pearl of wisdom that you're talking about, giving people information about something. It could be like you could even do some work in the legal field. I feel like that's a super random side message for somebody out here, but there's something about the legal field and having information that you're sharing. And maybe because you look a certain way and you practice these techniques, to build yourself up in the mirror, maybe you're practicing speeches and stuff in the mirror, or just improving your confidence. I feel like you are very successful at what you do. If this is a court case, you will be the fan favorite. Like the scales will be tipped in your favor because you've got this positive regard with people. They see your energy and it's very authentic. It's very loving and it's very beautiful, whether you're male or female. It's beautiful in the essence of who you are, which is beyond, it's way deeper than skin deep. So I feel like that's kind of what I'm seeing here. Okay, let's get some tarot cards. The End, that's the Death card, number 13. Okay, so interesting that we have the Death card and TikTok. It feels like something about ending the march towards death. Yeah, it is giving me that anti-aging type of vibe that I was getting before. And you have blindsided with this little hand mirror here and crying. So I feel like you have been blindsided in the past with stress and worry and seeing yourself in a distorted way. And I think you've ended that. I think this is the biggest message in this reading, is really that you have come back from a negative self-image and you changed that distorted perspective of what you were seeing in the mirror through conscious intentional work with yourself. Like you looked at yourself in the mirror and said, no, I refuse to succumb to that image that I have distorted myself into believing is true, or that other people have projected on me. I think that you took a look in the mirror and said, I'm going to be who I want to be, and I'm going to let myself feel what I want to feel or need to feel in this case, letting yourself grieve and then being able to consciously and intentionally change how you feel by how you approach yourself or how you interact with yourself. I think you may have started out with beauty. If you are into makeup, you could have started out looking at, how to kind of camouflage yourself and hide your magic behind this facade. But I think that it may have evolved into you actually embracing makeup as an enhancement of who you are rather than as a way of pretending you're someone else. It's like you may have gotten into it because it gave you a sense of confidence, but the development of your own internal sense of confidence, which again is way, way beyond the skin. It is in your soul, right? It's like buried deep in your soul. And this approach really shifted your sense of self-worth and your self-confidence and your self-esteem. And I think that now, if you do still use makeup or you're into it, if that's what you like, you would use it now to just enhance and to really bring out and allow your own confidence to just shine more. It's like it's not for camouflage anymore. It's not a mask. It's actually just enhancement, and it's just helping the inside of you match the outside, or the outside match the inside, I should say. Interesting. And if you're masculine, this would be same thing, but just take out the makeup example, unless you want to wear makeup, that's cool too. So the producer plant, we have that here. Yeah, sorry, the lighting, the producer plant. I'm getting an executive vibe here, so it's really interesting. I don't know if I'm talking to a bunch of different people in this particular group, or if this is all sort of cohesive in some way that I'm not seeing, but I'm getting all of these sort of different energies. I'm getting like a beauty TikToker, beauty blogger, and then I'm also getting like an executive or somebody in the law field, somebody who's very, very successful in business. And, again, that could be the same person. You could be the same person. You could be both of those things. You don't have to be boxed into one particular sort of set of descriptions of yourself. I think you can be a very successful executive boss and also be into aesthetics and beauty. Those things are not mutually exclusive, But yeah, I just feel like a powerfulness from you, powerfulness. The late bloomer. Okay, so you may have been like the ugly duckling at one point in your life, and maybe that is why you've had to do so much self-work, affirmations, and getting back into self-love again, maybe because you had a really warped, distorted self-image that was because you felt different, or maybe you even got bullied when you were younger. And this transformation from the inside out kind of led you down a path of self-discovery. And like I said, it may have started with you focusing a lot on the outside and the image and maybe the weight or the makeup or the clothes or the hair or something like that. But really, it actually led you down a positive path of rediscovering who you truly are, because maybe changing those things didn't work. And so through process of elimination, you realized that you being and feeling confident and beautiful has nothing to do with how you look and everything to do with how you feel about yourself. And then that does ironically change how you look, because the more confident you feel, the better you're going to take care of yourself physically. And that will reflect on the outside as it does on the inside. So I feel like you're a bit of a late bloomer, group number 1, but you're a fan favorite because it's like you either share this story or you're very open about it with your loved ones and the people who are close to you in your life. You might even share it publicly on TikTok, something, or some social media apps. But yeah, I'm seeing that you thought you were like this ugly, weird duck, but really you're a swan. Like, you've always been a swan and you just didn't see that. So changing the way that you looked at yourself in the mirror was really the magic recipe to overcoming this grief and this distorted self-perception of I'm not good enough, or I'm not beautiful, or I feel crappy about myself because I don't fit in. So you really stepping into that magic and ending that cycle, putting it and laying it to rest, I think, and stepping into your confidence and I did just get the word publicity, so you might be very public about this. I think that this has really, really benefited you, and it is attracting a lot of positive attention, because, yeah, you're a fan favorite. You overcame these self-esteem issues, group number 1, and you found and you sought and found balance for yourself, and you have these hidden gems of wisdom, because that's really what this was about at soul level. It wasn't about how you looked. It was about your self-esteem and your relationship with yourself. And this whole process was here to teach you to step back into your own power by deciding that you are beautiful, not by trying to achieve that. Okay. They said go to charms now. Okay, so we'll put these to the side. Okay, I've changed my charm bag and I put them in this Victoria's Secret one. It feels relevant to this reading because we're talking about beauty and aesthetics and things like that. So let's take a look at some charms for you, group number 1. Okay, lots and lots here. So the first one I'm seeing is this little confetti ball, and it feels like, that was not at all what I was going to say, but they gave me the phrase rediscovery of self, which was, what we were talking about before. But I was going to say it feels like a celebration. It feels like something that is very light and bubbly, something very fun. You may have that type of personality, which is another reason why people feel drawn to you or find you very attractive. I think a lot of it comes from your personality as well, and I mean, you probably you worked really hard on developing your personality, maybe because you felt like you didn't have much value in the looks department. And so you really focused on honing who you were on the inside. And again, beauty really doesn't matter, but like, I know that in our society and sociologically speaking, it is very revered. It's important, like that. It's quote unquote important. But I feel like you didn't really grow up with pretty privilege, and so you had to kind of like make it work on your own terms. And so now you've got the brains, you've got the personality, and you've got the beauty, because you did develop later in life and really came into your own, so you're like the whole package. Group number 1, that's what I'm seeing anyway. Okay, and you have a little starfish. I want to put this on TikTok. I feel like people are like, once they find you, it's like they can't get enough of you. So they spend a lot of time, if you create content, watching your content, or if this is like friends that you meet or people that you connect to, it's like they want more of you. They're calling you, they're texting you, they're asking you to hang out, that kind of thing. I feel like you have a lot of people that really just want to be kind of like suctioned, cupped onto you, the starfish, like how they cling on like that. On the negative side of that, you might find that people get a little too clingy with you, or don't know where the boundaries are or how to detach. It could be a fine line, but I think in the positive sense, when we're talking about fan favoritism, this is a quality that really, again, it attracts people to you, and then they don't want to leave. They want to spend time with you. They want to promote you in some way, or they want to be around you. Now, it's interesting because we have these two things that have to do with shells. So this one, the little jar has a shell in it. And then this one is the shell as well. So we've got these two little kind of conch shell, and they both kind of remind me of references to the sea, since we have that starfish there too. And I do want to put them both on the producer plant. You could be somebody who produces, like I said, content. It feels like that. Like you might be very good at filming and editing. And they just showed me like reels, short form content. I think you would do well in any field that is public. And again, if we're talking about like a business or something in the legal field, again, it's very public. You have to be kind of like the face of the company, or the face of your client, or the face of your, you're just, you're visible. That's kind of what I'm trying to say here. You're very visible. And people do see a lot of what's on the outside first. And people are attracted to it because you've cultivated, you've created this enhancement of your physical appearance, like your shell. You produced a very put together look, is what they're showing me. It's like you're not sloppy. You are, and not just aesthetically, like your clothes or your hair or your makeup or your beard if you're a man, or your whatever else, it's like you're well groomed, yes, definitely. But I feel like you've created a confident energy. That's the best way I can describe it, because that's what I'm seeing and feeling intuitively. It just feels like you've created this energy of, I've got my shit together kind of thing. And because you do, and you're not faking it. It's like that's actually legit. You do have your shit together, at least on that level. And that's the exterior shell that people see. And you've transformed. Yeah, you transformed that. You created that for yourself, for sure. Now, we do have these two angel wings. How cool is that? So double angel wings. I want to put one here on blindsided and one here on the end. Oh, interesting. So you may have gone through some pretty major grief in your life, group number 1, deaths of people you loved, or deaths of your ego, maybe waves and waves of deaths of your ego, having to kind of let go of the parts of yourself that you saw as less than, or as ugly, or as undesirable. And it's like you've been through these different layers. You've been shedding your skin, shedding your skin, shedding your skin. They keep showing me the snake here on the producer plant card. So you are no stranger to transformation, and that's part of how you know now to work your magic. But I see a lot of blessings around you from the angels, like you've gone through a lot and they've protected you through it. I also see that you have an angelic quality about you as well. And I think that's part of your magic, your desirability, your balance, and that wisdom within. It goes, like I said, far, far beyond just your look. It is part of your soul, and that does show up in how you walk, and how you dress, and how you talk, and how you look, and just how people feel around you. So it's very, very deep. It's not at all surface level. Okay, and then you have the friends charm. So this is like the other half of the best friends kind of a necklace. So I do feel like when people find you, they want to be friends with you right away. Like, I want to put it here on desire and attraction, and I bumped the candle which says you are love. This is a beautiful candle that is the vibration of 518 hertz, the vibration of love. And yeah, it just feels like people really love you. I think that's another reason why you're a fan favorite, is because you are very friendly. I feel like you're not the type of person who has RBF, what is that, resting bitch face, you know? You're the type of person you're beautiful, but you're not intimidating. You are humble, wise, very balanced personality inside and out. And I think that is what makes you such a good friend, and why people are so attracted to you, because they want to be friends with you. And that's why you're a fan favorite. Your personality is wonderful. You're very talented. I see that as well. And you've overcome a lot of pain and suffering. So you're relatable. You know, you're not like up on a pedestal. And even if people put you on a pedestal, you're like, no, I'm going to kick that out from underneath me, because that's not realistic. And the way that I learned to love myself is through being realistic with myself, rather than putting myself on a pedestal and being disappointed, or putting myself down into the hole or into the mud. And that's not realistic either. So it's like this beautiful balance between like a way overexpanded ego and a really under one. It's like you managed to find that balance, which is another reason why we have the scales of justice here, you know? Okay, let's take a look at this one. Love and be loved. Yeah, so I think a lot of your fan favoritism stems from your ability to love and be loved. And I want to put this here on the scales. So this is a very balanced thing for you, and it comes from above, because this charm spun around upside down, and I was in my head asking, what does that mean, Spirit? And they said it's coming from above. It's being anchored down. So the love that you have been able to embody, a lot of it comes from your higher self, from your angels, from your guides. Them loving you, I think, helped you to transform your relationship with self, because it was unconditional. Spirit loves us unconditionally, which is something that's very, very hard to find, if not non-existent here on earth. There's always some small level of conditionality, even if it's only like 1% or 0.5. But usually it's more. Usually it's like 20, 30, or 40% conditional love here on earth. And it's not, that's not to harp on humans. We are capable of unconditional love, but the third dimension is just a very dense place, and it's hard to fully embody that in, you know, in a consistent way. But you receiving this love from the divine helped you to see yourself as a divine being. And every time you look in the mirror, it's really hard to hate yourself when you're channeling this divine love, you know? So you just started seeing yourself as lovable in all of your imperfections and flaws, and all of the things that are quote unquote perfect. It's like they're both equal and beautiful in the eyes of the divine. They're both valued in the eyes of the divine. And so you seeing yourself as that, I think, has really, really shaped how you love and how you are loved. The be loved here just looked like one word too. To me, it looked like beloved. Yeah, you're very beloved. People adore you, is what I just heard Spirit say. People adore you because you are friendly, you're kind, you're humble, you're magical, you radiate, you're also beautiful physically, you're confident. Yeah, this is what makes you a fan favorite, group number one. I mean, it's obvious for me to see that, and I hope that, you know, I think the reason you were drawn to this reading is because there's still a part of you that needs to hear it. You know what I mean? That ugly duckling late bloomer is still living within you, and he or she is always going to be there, but you can nurture that part of you so much that it becomes, like I said, a beloved part of you. It becomes an asset. It becomes integrated. It's no longer separated and rejected or cast out. So yeah, it's a lifelong process, is what Spirit just said. It's a lifelong process of unlearning the self-rejection and separatism that you were taught, either inadvertently or maybe even directly. You have the little star here. It feels like, I want to put it here on late bloomer. So the little star, it feels to me like you wished upon a star to be accepted, more than anything else. I was going to say beautiful, but the word that came through me was accepted. You wanted to be accepted. You prayed for this. You wished for this. And this is what you've created for yourself. You are accepted now because you've accepted yourself. That's the key, right? That's the key. And that was within that subconscious mind. As we see here with the green moon, this always reminds me of the subconscious mind, and color is the green. Green is the color of the heart chakra. So I feel like you healed your relationship with yourself, and that is the hidden gem. That is the hidden gem that has helped you to heal the most on this journey of self-acceptance. That is the wisdom, that is the value, is really you self-accepting has led to you seeing your value and your worth truly, unequivocally, and that cannot be taken from you. Cannot be taken from you. And then lastly, we have this little sunflower. They said follow the light, and I want to put it here on TikTok. Follow the light. So yeah, I do see that you are always looking and being optimistic. I feel like your disposition is very just naturally optimistic, or even if it didn't start out that way, I think you cultivated a positive mindset, a growth mindset. And you're always looking to the silver lining, or you're always looking to find something of value in everything that you experience. That's what makes you so resilient, group number one. And that's why people are attracted to you. That's why you're a fan favorite, is because you're not pessimistic or down on yourself. It's like you're always looking for a way to embrace everything. I think acceptance is like the key word of your reading here. Hashtag acceptance. Put that in the comments if this reading resonates. It feels like you accepted yourself. You accept all circumstances. You accept other people and embrace other people. And that is what's leading to success. And I think you're a very powerful person, whether you realize it or not, whether your job reflects that or not, or whether you feel like that in your life. You are a very powerful person, and you have a lot of sway. So use it wisely. I think you do, and I think you will. But what I want to say, group one, is that yes, you are a fan favorite because of the self-development that you've done and the self-acceptance you've embraced, and you've grown into yourself in such a beautiful way that this power is really going to help you to liberate yourself in life, to see a lot of success in potentially social media or some other public front or public field where you are the face of something. That is really what I see. And the more that you accept yourself and love yourself, the more successful you will be in those areas, because the support you're getting, the fan favoritism, is just a mirror reflection. Look at the mirrors you have in your reading. It's a mirror reflection of what is going on internally, because you are the creator of your reality. So embody it to see it around you. That's all I have to say. All right, group number one, thank you so much for being here. I hope that this reading helped in some way. I appreciate your energy here on the channel, your support in all ways. And if you guys are looking to dive deeper, we do have memberships where there's lots of members only pick a card readings, weekly guidance, and monthly live streams where you guys can ask me questions and I'll pull cards for you live on camera. So if you guys are interested in that, hit the join button down below to check out the tiers. There are 2 tiers of different value, and that is available there. And if you guys want to go even deeper, I do have bookings available for services that I offer. So I've got intuitive tarot readings and soul scan plus healings. Okay, so if you guys are interested, check out the services through my website, which is linked in the description box below. I love you guys, and we'll see you in the next reading. Bye. All right, hi group number 2. You guys chose the initiation card. So what makes you a fan favorite? Well, I see that you are a wisdom, like you're so knowledgeable. I was going to be like wisdom keeper. I'm getting Akashic records from this card for whatever reason. It looks vaguely to me kind of like what I see when I tap into the Akash. That's what I visualize, and this is kind of what it looks like. So yeah, you're definitely a wisdom keeper. You're highly, highly knowledgeable, and I think your knowledge is what you share and initiates other people into that. So you're definitely a fan favorite because you unlock things for people in such a big way, things that they never would have thought of, things that they never would have even know that they didn't know. You know what I mean? It's like you don't know what you don't know. And I feel like you just blow people's minds because you say something and they're like, what? Like, I never even thought of that. And you just open up these worlds for them in a sense, you know, because consciousness creates reality. So the more that you expand people's minds, the more that you initiate them into the potential of these new timelines, new realities, new worldview equals new world, right? So yeah, you're very, very, very powerful in that regard. You're an initiator. You are an activator. Yeah, I super vibe with that. I'm right there with you. So let's take a look at your cards. I'm going to use some of my favorite decks in this reading because it's a fan favorite reading. So we're using the Wisdom of the Oracle. I do feel this one. Happy. And look at that key there in the egg. It feels like you unlock things for people. You have the key to access different levels of consciousness. And a lot of these bring happiness and elevation. The balloons there are making me think of elevation. So I do feel like you elevate people's minds, and that is cause for celebration for sure. And initiations can be seen as celebrations too, like initiations into the next stage, like a graduation party or celebration of an accomplishment in work or a promotion. It can also be about like a rite of passage where you're going from childhood to adulthood, like a sweet 16 party or a quinceañera. It feels very much like that. Like you help people to mature. And that's what makes you a fan favorite, because this makes people happy. They need that, and you help them do that in some way, whether it's psychically or consciously or not, through your knowledge, or whether it's through throwing parties for these people or working like that. I don't know. You let me know what you do to help initiate people, but that's what I'm getting. So I have to say it, you know, that's what I'm here for. That's my job. That's my role as an initiator. Let's take a look. Yeah, let's take a look at some Coffee Cup Oracle. Yeah, I do want to shuffle these. I don't ever really shuffle on camera in like that way. I usually just kind of shuffle like that, you know, to get a card, but they're telling me to shuffle. So that's what we gonna do. Okay, one more and then we'll start getting into these ones. I love the Coffee Cup Oracle. This is my favorite deck of all my decks. Thank you to the donor who sent these in for us. I absolutely love it. Strength and success with the Lion. Wow. Just like power. You are so powerful, group number 2. I cannot believe it. You really, I think you initiate other people into strength and success too. Like in human design, you might be a projector, you know, where projectors, what they do is they help other people advance, or they help to bring awareness to something, and that helps that other person to speed up. I'm a projector myself, so I can relate to that. And I know that with my work with clients one-on-one, that's my role. And even with people out in the world that I randomly bump into, or friends and family, my role as a soul is to activate people. I trigger things for them to help them catalyze their own awakening or healing or whatever it happens to be. And the way that Spirit showed it to me, and the reason why I'm sharing this is because this is what you do as well, is kind of like in Mario Kart when you're going around the course and then all of a sudden there's like one of those little super speed pathways and you get on it and you go whew, like super fast like that. You were going to get to that point on the course anyway because you're already moving, but it's like it just speeds you up really fast. And that's kind of what we do at soul level as initiators. We help people to excel more quickly, to get where they were already going, but at a faster rate, or doing it in less time. Let's get more of these. I do feel this one. Horse, freedom and action. Look at that. Like the horse very much speaks to me of speed. They're so strong. They are so fast and agile and also gentle. So it's interesting that you have this very sort of like this, what do you call that? Like a lion. They're strong and they're fast, but they're also like almost aggressive, whereas horses are much more gentle. I'm not getting any aggressive energy from you. That's not what I mean. It's just more like the strength aspect that I'm picking up on. It's just very, very strong is what I'm getting. You're a very strong person, and I feel like you might be very ambitious as well, but in a very practical, spiritual way, like a spiritual ambition to know all the things. It's like that meme, know all the things. I feel like that's you. You're always like looking for information and sharing that information. Then it helps you go faster, it helps other people go faster, it brings strength and success. So yeah, I can see why you're a fan favorite. Group number 2. You have husband and marriage. Ooh, interesting. And since we were just talking about ambition, I feel like you might have ambitions to get to the next level or help other people get to the next level in their maybe love life. In this case, like it would be going from dating or being single or dating to being married. It's like that initiation into that next stage of your life. And that is a type of maturation in a sense as well. And it's celebrations. I'm getting almost like party planning. I don't know if that's a literal translation of what you do or what somebody here in this reading that's watching does, but that could be part of it, like wedding planning, or because I did mention quinceañera, it kind of feels like that, like helping people to plan these very pivotal moments in their lives, and just being around is an initiator in that regard. But yeah, if it's not that literally speaking, but that's kind of the metaphor for how I think that you operate and why you're so successful and why people are drawn to you and why you're a fan favorite, is because people feel that level of advancement that you give them. You have old man and inheritance. This one's been coming out a lot lately in the readings. Yeah, it feels like, it's like these different stages of life. That's what I'm seeing. They keep showing me that, like different stages of life. So maybe you work with people in different stages of life, or you draw in people who are going through like, sweet 16, and then manhood or adulthood, womanhood, going into the dating, going into school, going into jobs. It's like these different very pivotal moments in life that I'm seeing. And then all the way up to the, maybe even working with the elderly directly or indirectly, or with the idea of aging. And again, it's like the concept of progression or maturation or evolution of the mind and the individual. I feel like you are an old soul. That's another thing I'm getting from old man. It's like you're an old soul. You have a lot of experience at soul level. You've lived many, many lifetimes. And as a result, you have a very good grasp on both the physical process of these maturation cycles and also the non-physical experience of that through maybe the Akashic records or through your psychic or intuitive capacity. Whether you're aware of that or not, that's what I'm feeling. Coins, luck and money. Yeah, so since we have the lion with success and now we have luck and money with coins, I do feel like you're a very successful person, especially, it does say inheritance here. I feel like you, I feel like you're well off financially, and if you're not, then you have the capacity to be that, because people do really value what it is that you have to share and what it is that you bring to the table, and you do help people a lot. So I feel like that is something that is worth a lot of money. So if you went into business for yourself, I think you'd be very successful. If you work for someone else, I think you make them very successful, and yourself as well. So it does feel like you have a lot to offer, and that's why it is there's an equal exchange for that. You have the 7 of Roses with drama. That's interesting. Let's get more information because I don't know what to make of that. The contestant. Okay. Here to make friends. 3 of flutes. This is very interesting. And the daydreamer. Page of flutes. I like that. I like that. Well, I feel like you're a deep thinker, that's for sure. And I think daydreaming is part of that, you know, being able to access your subconscious mind. Obviously, we don't want to get lost in that. We do want to be making sure that we're anchored in reality. But in this case, what I'm seeing is that you are able to avoid drama and keep people happy. And it's because you don't really compete with them. Yeah, you're not here to compete with anyone. You're here to make friends. You're here to form relationships and bonds because that is what helps people. And I do get a big sense that you're here to help people, group 2. It's not about what you can get. It's about what you can give. Because you're here to advance people. You're here to help them to move forward in life. You're here to make sure that they are feeling successful, that they feel free, and that they're getting through these stages of life successfully as well. So I feel like your dream is like to help the world in some way, to make the world a better place to be, a happier place to live. And that's not going to be accomplished through division. And you just know that because you're very intuitive, because you've lived all these lifetimes, maybe making these mistakes and pitfalls along the way that taught you what does and what doesn't work. And I think you've learned through that trial and error that the only way to achieve this goal of unification and brotherhood, like collective brotherhood, is to really come at it with this approach of what can I do for you? What can I do for you? What do my skills and my knowledge and my approach to things provide for you? And how can that make us both happy, right? Yeah, so I feel a sense of fan favoritism in terms of like lifelong devotion. I feel like people are very committed to you or what you're doing. Like if someone's a fan, they're going to be a fan for life type of thing. Or if someone is a friend, they're going to be a friend for life in most cases. Because you are a team player. I definitely see that. You avoid drama, but you don't the phrase "don't start no shit, won't be no shit" is coming to mind. Yeah, that's what it feels like. It's like you're not the one to start it. But I don't think that you would back away from drama if it came to you. Like you would deal with it. Let's put it that way. You wouldn't feed into it or contribute, but you would set the boundary around that and say, no, that doesn't work because if the goal is happiness, that's counterproductive. You know, it's just very rational. Yeah, so I feel like you have a very free thinking mind, and this is what gives you access to these higher level concepts, knowledge, or happiness and positivity. You're very optimistic, like I said, and so this is what brings a lot of luck for you. You've got like that lucky girl or lucky guy effect, where because you're so positive, no matter what happens, you're always going to see it in that, you know, those rose-colored glasses or that silver lining, which is actually an asset because I think you're realistic because you're so wise and experienced, but it's the choice to be optimistic. So you're not self-deluding. You're not delulu. No. You are intentionally optimistic because that choice is what creates more of that happiness. I feel like you're very committed to this goal. You could be in service to others in some way. I'm getting that really strongly. So being, you know, somebody who, like I said, is here working with people either directly or indirectly. I feel like a lot of your work is through teaching people or sharing information or helping people to get through these initiations or something like that. Yeah. Okay, let's get some charms, group number 2. Let's find out what else makes you a fan favorite and how to really, really embrace that. Okay. Yeah, I knew it. You've got the eye. you're a seer, you're psychic, you have access to the Akashic, you're very intuitive, you're an initiator. When people connect to you, when they look at you, when they're around you, or when they listen to you speak, they awaken, they see things differently for the first time. That's the initiation. And it could be just a vibration that you give off, or this could be words that you're saying, or it could just be the way that you live. It's like your mindset. Maybe you come across someone who's like hyper pessimistic and they're not seeing the world through a realistic lens, and they're really kind of they're in this warped reality of distorted perception, and you come in with this optimism. It kind of challenges the way that they think about life or themselves or the world, and that is what helps to expand. That's what helps kind of blow up their previous cognitive bias, and it may create a little bit of distortion initially, like dissonance, cognitive dissonance, but ultimately, because your approach is so pro-social, like it's very let's work together, team effort type of thing, I think that people, they see that you have the best intentions in mind, and because you're so happy, they're like, well, there's got to be something to this, it's the modeling of that behavior, really. It's not even so much about what you say, it's more so about who you are. Yeah, you just model that behavior. And you have a really big heart. You have an angel heart is what they just showed me. They told me to pick up these two charms together, which is the green heart, which is, that actual color of the green, or the green ray is the color of the heart chakra. And this is the area where we are concerned with healing, helping others, being in service to others, unconditional love for self and others, etc. And then you have these angel wings. So like I said, I feel like you're a very service-oriented person. You want to help people. You want to increase the love in the world. I want to put one here on happy, like a happy heart is part of your service, because I want to put the angel wings on here to make friends. Yes, you are. This is part of your spiritual service and mission, is to make friends, to unite, to connect. You have another angel wing here as well. And I'm seeing the teddy bear too. So you've got the angel wing and the teddy bear. It's like this innocence of companionship and the blessing in that. I do also see that you have one of your angel guides is a small child. I don't think that's for everyone, but if you know this already, you probably just felt that like a rush through your system. You might even react to that information viscerally, because again, I'm an activator too, so like it takes one to know one type of thing. But this you have a child in your auric field, group number 1. This could have been a child that you lost. This could have been a family member. I'm getting couple of different things, so maybe this will be for more than one person, but there's a child in your energetic field, and they're one of your angelic guides. They're one of your loved ones on the other side, and they help to guide you as well, and they actually really support you through I don't know why I want to put them here on the contestant. I'll look into that in a sec, but it feels very much like they help you to continue to operate within that childlike mindset and that state of innocence, which is where that positivity really comes from, and that positive perspective of the world. Wow, that's really cool. I just got deja vu. Ooh, that's a timeline convergence. Timeline convergences occur when we go through an initiation of some kind. So I'm not surprised that that's coming up in this reading where you pick the card initiation. So I'm getting one too. I think it's coming from you, group number 2. Timeline convergences, I always see them anytime I have deja vu, as two parts of myself have just aligned and come back together, and that it strengthens the timeline, and it helps to kind of anchor into that higher vibrational state, because the separation is no longer in the way that it was. It's unified, which is always a higher vibration. Cool. Okay, and you have these two moons with stars. 2 moons with stars. So that does seem significant here. Yeah, you're very psychically advanced. Let me just put it that way. And this is one of your strengths. And this is what makes you a fan favorite, because people see that you just have a lot of spiritual or esoteric knowledge. And even if you don't, it's like you still embody those principles, right? And you could be doing it purely intuitively, or you could be doing it based on what you've learned. But again, your soul is very advanced. So either way, whether you know this consciously or not, it comes off in your field because that's just what you are. Yeah, so very, very much about psychic strength. I also just got the message that you're very well protected in the psychic realms. Like you have a huge squad, like a huge pride of souls that are constantly surrounding you and making sure that you're safe, so that there's no interference energetically, no lower vibrational timelines or energy can enter into your sphere, is what they just showed me. And I think that's another reason why they also mentioned this younger, more innocent guide here, or loved one on the other side. That's one of your spirit family around you. They help to keep your vibration high and to temper some of your deep wisdom with the innocence, which is also part of the wisdom, but it's like this innocence and super light, very high vibration that I'm seeing. And okay, I want to read these together. You have wish, a crown, and the little pumpkin carriage. Let me turn it around so you can see it better. Wish, the crown, and the pumpkin carriage. And this makes me think of like a childhood wish for a happily ever after. And since we do have the groom here, this could be part of, again, what makes you desirable is that you never let go of your hope. You're always optimistic. You're always holding on to that wish. You never lose sight of your goal, no matter what happens in life, no matter what dramas you've been through. I feel like your wish will come true because you are pure of heart. It's like Cinderella. Like no matter what she went through, she never lost hope. And she did have those protectors, right? She had the fairy godmother, that it was through the magic of her hope and her belief and her love and her innocence that she was able to get the support she needed to really live a life in a more aligned way for her, like what she truly deserved. And she was initiated from being basically a slave to being a princess or a queen. So it very much feels like that to me. Now, interesting, you also have the hacksaw. What? You have a hacksaw here. What is this, spirit? Where do you want me to put it? Okay, they wanted me to put it here on husband and marriage. So what is that about? That is so bizarre and out of left field, but when I'm doing a reading, if I don't say what I'm shown or what I'm getting, I kind of hit a brick wall, and then it's really hard for me to move forward. It's almost like I get a mental block, and then I can't say anything until I say what they've shown me. And they showed me the hacksaw cutting off this man, this groom, in the picture, cutting him off at the knees. So I've obviously that's a little bit of a gruesome image. They did show it to me in a bit more of a cartoony way because I'm sensitive. But I think this is a metaphor for something about feeling cut off at the knees. What is that saying? That's a saying, isn't it? Feeling disempowered, or like a half of yourself. There's something about disconnection, or not feeling like you are free to make your own choices or to move forward in life. Feeling cut off at the knees. It's like you can't move. I don't know what to make of that. Group number 2. I gotta be honest with you, because that's what I do. I'm all about truth and integrity, and I don't know what to make of that. It doesn't seem to fit with the rest of what I'm getting in the reading. It doesn't seem to make sense with the storyline or with the energy. There's something I'm missing here. I don't know how to fit this together. Spirit, can I get more information, please? Or can I get context for this message? What is this about in regard to group number 2 and being a fan favorite? Oh, they said they help people to move on in life. Oh, so if someone feels cut down, you help build them back up and strengthen them, and then they are free again. Okay, now that makes sense. Okay, I get it. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. See, sometimes it's just good to ask, Sometimes when in doubt, shout it out. And no, that's not a commercial or tagline for stain removal. I'm talking about asking for help, verbalizing it. Ask and you shall receive. Yeah. So anyway, Okay, that makes sense, group 2. So you help people to regain their independence. You help people to regain their sense of autonomy, sovereignty, feeling like they can take action again, like they can be successful in life where they've maybe felt cut off at the knees. Yeah, and I don't think it has anything to do with marriage. It's more so about the knowledge that you provide and the resources that you give and the modeling of the behavior or the mindset that you have that helps people to regrow those limbs almost, like it's like they can get back parts of themselves that maybe were lost through hard times or things that they suffered through or that may have contributed to their pessimism or their distorted worldview, because you understand that what you hold in your heart and what is unresolved within you will be projected out into your reality. So you help people to either consciously or unconsciously understand that so that they can change their approach, their mindset more intentionally by understanding that they're creating what they're experiencing in some direct or indirect way, or that they can take their power back from the things that are genuinely out of their control by choosing to respond to it differently or seeing it from a different vantage point or perspective. Yeah. From an angelic perspective, very high vibrational point of view that you have, group number 2. Wow. Okay. I think that's everything that Spirit wanted to talk about today. So in terms of being a fan favorite, group number 2, I can see exactly why you do what you do and why people are drawn to you and attracted to you and why they favorite you in this way, because you really do exude this high vibrational energy and it benefits the world. I wanted to say people, but the words that came out were the world. You benefit the world by being here. So thank you for your service. You are an earth angel. Okay. I love you so much. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you guys want to go deeper here on the channel, we do have memberships available if you love my work here and you want to support it, and also get all the added benefit of members only pick a card readings, weekly guidance, monthly live streams, no ads, all that good stuff. You can hit the join button down below. It should be right underneath the video where the subscribe button is or was. And if you don't see it there, you may need to go through a desktop computer or a different device. Sometimes they won't show up on your phone or through the YouTube app. Anyway, also, if you guys want to book a session with me, if you're looking for more in-depth personal guidance or healing, I am an Akashic reader, Reiki master, and intuitive tarot and spiritual counseling guide. So if you guys are needing anything from me and I can be of service to you as an activator, the information to my services is linked in the description below. It's through my website, it's tarotandbeyond.com, and it's on the services page. I also have a shop there with some downloadable e-content that could be helpful as well. All right, guys, much love. We'll see you in the next reading. Bye. All right, hi, group number 3. You guys chose the Descend card. And I do want to mention that I was pre-shuffling the decks after doing the previous 2 readings to prep for your reading. And these 2 cards also came out. So you have Clean It Up and Building Blocks. So given that they told me to take those, usually if that happens, if I don't feel like it's relevant, I'll put them back in the deck, but the Spirit told me take those 2 and talk about them as well in context of the reading with the Descend card. So group number 3, I feel like what makes you a fan favorite is that you are able to descend into sort of like the underbelly of consciousness and, going deep and diving into the shadow realms or the unconscious mind, or the subconscious is more accurate, but you're able to go in there and clean things up. You're able to really use what you find and organize that and create building blocks. So I feel like you're a fan favorite because you really are, maybe you're like a psychologist or a counselor, or you're just a very deep thinker. Maybe you do a lot of shadow work or something like that. But I feel like you organize the intangible. Does that make sense? It's like you organize or find a pattern within unconscious blocks, and you're able to help to free other people or yourself from these things. And it's through descending into the underworld and cleaning those things up and creating a solution that you benefit and you also benefit others as well. Really cool. Yeah, it's like you're able to see through the smog. They showed me the color of these 2 cards. It's like kind of browny fog that looks a bit like pollution. It's like you're able to clean things up that were toxic. You feel like a cycle breaker, group number 3. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. You feel like a cycle breaker. You're the type of person that transmutes energy. You take something that's toxic or dysfunctional and you find a way to like reorganize it and change it into something that is functional. Yeah, really cool. Okay, let's get some Coffee Cup Oracle. These are all my favorite decks right now. I have so many decks and I love them all, but these are the ones that I just absolutely love. That's why I was like, we'll use all my favorite decks for the fan favorite reading. Okay, I do feel this one and this one as well. So we'll get those 3 and we'll see if we need more. But yeah. Nourishment and transformation. You see what I mean? You transform things. The Scarab. And you transform things that were kind of hidden in the underworlds, and you make them something so valuable. You're definitely a transmuter, an alchemist. Yeah, you do a lot of metamorphosis, transformation of the spirit. Wow, very cool. Okay, what else? Love, new love, and the heart. Interesting. I wonder what the context is for that. Let's find out what this card is. Success and pride with the crown. Yeah. Oh, you can't see all those. Hold on. Let me reposition. How do we want to do this? Maybe like that? Sure. I think just the fact that I did that, I think is confirmation of what I'm getting in your reading. It feels very much like you're the type of person who repositions things to find a better way of fitting them together. It's like Tetris, there's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it. And you're the type of person that you can find the way where it all fits together and then it's kind of dissolved. It's, that's the way that you transmute things. I do feel like you help people to achieve success by communicating or teaching or embodying these sort of shadow transmutative archetypes. You could help people in toxic or dysfunctional love relationships, because Clean It Up, I wanted to put it there underneath of, or I wanted to put heart, I should say, and love and new love underneath Clean It Up. So you may be somebody who teaches people or who shares information or who just embodies these traits of like helping people to get out of toxic dysfunctional relationship patterns or dynamics by descending into the shadow and learning about all these unconscious things and what drives us to operate in these ways, or what drives this desire or this attraction or this addiction, whether it's love or whether it's substances or whether it's patterns of behavior or all of the above. You may teach people how to clean up their diets as well and have better heart health. I think that I'm getting a message of like nutrition, nourishment, the heart, clean it up, building blocks. Feels very much like helping people to feel and actually live better lives because their body is functioning better and they feel more confident and successful as a result of that. I feel like you also deal with a lot of very dark emotions like pride and lust and greed and anger and shame. All of these sort of darker drivers of the human consciousness. I feel like you are the type of person who doesn't shy away from those. You actually look into them with a sort of analytical eye, and you're able to, like I said, transmute or alchemize or reposition those things to transmute or dissolve them, or get those transformed into higher, like shame would turn into acceptance or love, and greed would turn into feeling of contentment or gratitude, and so on and so forth, right? Through all of that list of darker, baser emotions or motives. So yeah, you're definitely a transmuter for sure. Group number 3. I'm not surprised. That's the message here. But it feels like you're a fan favorite because you help people to break free from addictive patterns, cycles, or behaviors, or even just ways of thinking. It's like you really help people to see what's not working and what's dysfunctional, and you help them to clean it up in some way, or to find what they need, like what they really need, not what is going to meet the temporary surface level need. Influencer. Are you an influencer? Are you talking about psychology or nutrition or mental health? Are you talking about shadow work? Are you doing this publicly? If you feel drawn to it and this is your area of expertise, I would recommend it, because that's definitely going to make you a fan favorite if you're not already. Talking about this, sharing it on social media is not only going to help people, but it's also going to attract a lot of abundance for you, is what I just felt. You have silver lining. Ooh, interesting. The 6 of mirrors. 6 of mirrors. Feels like you're the type of person who sees the silver lining. It kind of reminds me of group number 2, but you guys are much sort of like darker, or you're capable of handling a lot more of that darker stuff. The silver lining here, I feel like it's how you transmute. It's like you turn sadness. You can see the little sad raindrops there, like tears almost. You turn sadness into love and into healing and into success in some way. I do feel like you're connected to group number 2. You might want to watch that reading if you felt called to it, or if you feel called to it now. If you get that little intuitive hit or nudge from me saying that, then follow that, see what it says, and kind of compare notes from this reading and that reading and see how they fit. But yeah, it could be like the same type of energy. You also have, wow, more tears. Look at that. Blindsided, the 9 of mirrors. It feels like you deal with grief, you deal with loss, you deal with all of these lower vibrational human emotions and experiences. You've either dealt with them yourself and learned to clean them up and reorganize them and transmute them, or you help other people to do that, or both. I mean, probably both, right? Like if you're helping other people to do it, you probably have some experience with it yourself. That's what makes people experts, is personal experience, not just not just like cognitive knowledge or anything like that. It's really about your subjective wisdom, which can only be gained through experience. So I do feel like group 3. Yeah, see, there's some kind of connection to group 2. But anyway, group 3, you might be like a grief counselor or something. But you're a fan favorite because you help people to reflect on these emotions and to heal them in some way, to look at their addictions and to change their behaviors by meeting their core needs, by creating love within the self or nourishing the self. And that creates the transformation and the feeling of confidence. Yeah, it's very powerful, the work that you do. Ooh, you've got possessive here with the 4 of rings. You know, what I'm really getting there is actually this. Look at, you've got one heart that's free and one heart that's chained. So I do feel as though your role is to free people's hearts, or to help them free theirs, or you've freed your own. You've cleaned up your own life, and you undid those chains that were causing you pain. All this grief that you did, you've done a lot of heart healing. That's what I see, but it's mostly through shadow work, really. And that's what's creating that success for you. It's through the shadow work that you've been able to, reground yourself and reposition yourself in life. And that's what's made you successful. I think that's why people are so drawn to you, or you are a fan favorite in this way, is because people see how much you've been through. And not only is that relatable, but it's also something that they can benefit from, because you're like a walking example of what's possible. You're a walking example of transcending something that is so restricting and limiting it, whether it's like a health issue or something like that maybe like an autoimmune disease or an illness or an ailment or a disorder or something. It's like you overcame it. You cleaned something up in your life and you managed to overcome it by a lot of deep diving, and you helped to kind of light the way or guide others in that direction, whether you're doing it in like a coaching fashion or counseling, or you're doing it just by what you're talking about or what you're modeling in terms of like your behavior. Yeah, it feels very much like that's why people are drawn to you. And that's why I think you either are successful or you're going to be very successful at this, because you do have a lot of experience to share, and you know what worked for you, and that can work for a lot of people. as well. Like it's going to help a lot of people, and they'll be drawn to you very intuitively. Yeah, it's like people are drawn to you when they need you. That's kind of what I'm feeling. It's like, it's almost like, that's so funny. What they're showing me at soul level is almost like you have this aroma, and when a person gets quote unquote hungry, they come to you because you're the cook, or you're the baker in this metaphor, and you provide them with the food that they need, the nourishment that they need. It could be the emotional healing, it could be the wisdom or the knowledge, it could be a quite like a literal food regime or diet or something like that, or supplements, I don't know, but it's something that you're giving or sharing or providing in some way that that helps people to recover. It does feel like recovery. Very 12th house, very 12th house. Yeah, 12th and 8th house in the natal chart could be significant for you. This could be where you find a lot of success. You could have aspects from the 12th and the 8th to the 10th house. Because that's like your public image and your notoriety, and you're known for helping to transmute things or to do this deep psychological or spiritual work. A lot to do with transmutation and healing. The 6th house is also here with clean it up, I feel, as well. The 6th house is to do with your daily routine, your habits, your lifestyle, your service work to others, your daily environment, your body environment, what you put into your body and into your mind, and how you operate on a daily basis. So yeah, I feel like you've done a lot of transmutation in the 6th and the 12th house, psychologically and physically. And that really shows, it shows in your wisdom, it shows in how you help people. Yeah, it's big, and you're going to be big for that. Like, you're going to be very successful. You're going to be wearing your crown because people see that and they need that. And you, like I said, they're intuitively drawn to you because you're you're a walking example of what can be achieved through this type of transmutation work. Let's get some charms, group number 3. For some additional information. What else does group number 3 embody that makes them a fan favorite, or what can they embody to increase that? This one really wanted to roll around. It's the pink jar with the shell in it. And I want to put it here on building blocks. So this kind of feels like you have the wisdom and the knowledge. That's the building blocks. You know how to put things together, how to take things apart. You know how to build and rebuild. Because it was you versus you. Yeah, you've had to do a lot of shadow work and introspection and individuation and psychological transformation. It was you versus you. It may have been you versus your body if you were struggling with a health issue. It may have been you versus your mind if you were struggling with mental health or emotional imbalances, right? And so you did the digging. You looked into the underneath, what was down there below the surface, and instead of projecting your issue out onto the world, it's like you took ownership of it, you took responsibility, and you said, I'm going to find what's going on here, and I'm going to create a solution, or I'm going to find a solution, or whatever it happens to be. You do have look at that, the white rabbit with the pearl. Okay, so the white rabbit is always my sign of a deep diver. So this is kind of like Alice following the white rabbit down the rabbit hole, or Neo following the white rabbit to become the one and to break free from the matrix. So yeah, you descend into the underworld, into this realm of the unknown and everything, where everything is possible, and you bring back this pearl of wisdom. That's the knowledge, that's the experience, and I want to put it here on crown. So I think this is why you're in a position of leadership or power in your life. I keep feeling like you haven't hit this yet. I keep getting that message. So for some of you, you may, but I keep getting this feeling of like you're not there yet. You aren't wearing your crown fully yet, or you aren't being fully recognized or favorited for this yet. But I keep getting this message that later in life you're going to be very successful for this, very well known for this at that. That's what they just said, very well known. Yeah, you're going to be an influencer in this realm. Like, you're going to be teaching this, or you're going to be coaching, or you've written a book on it, or Spirit just said you've written the book on it, not just any book, like the book on it. So yeah, this is going to be very, very big for you. I just got big spiritual chills. Yeah. That's always an indication of truth. So you have this pearl of wisdom because you descended into the darkness within yourself and you came back transformed, and you walked through the fires of the self, and you came out stronger. And I think that's why you're going to be an asset to the world by sharing this information. This is an interesting little charm here. I've never seen this one before. It's like a upside down triangle with the red line in the middle. What is this? They want me to put it here on the heart, like right at the top. I think it's something to do with love. It's something to do with transmuting and healing relationships from the top down, or from the bottom up even, or maybe from both approaches. And I think there's something to do with healing the body, like I was saying before, but it's also connected to love and relationships, like the relationship with self, the relationship with the body, the relationship with other people. It's like those are all connected, and you see that because you've lived it. If one area is dysfunctional, the other one's dysfunctional, and etc. So it's this domino effect. Everything's connected. So if you solve one issue, it gives a positive upward momentum, and then you solve that one and that one. It's like it all fits together. The building blocks come together and you have this stable foundation. Wow. This is so cool, group 3. And then you have the meditating man here, or the meditating person. Yeah, you've done a lot of contemplation. I want to put this here on descend. Yeah, you've done a lot of introspective work, maybe meditating a lot, or just contemplating a lot, thinking about things, trying to puzzle it out. I keep getting that. It's like you're a problem solver by nature. You always looking for the connections between things, maybe pattern recognition, symbology, metaphor. The language of the mind is through imagery and emotion. So if you can learn pattern recognition, you can really understand not only yourself and the world, but also spirit and the unconscious realm, like what's beyond the veil. And I think this is the silver lining to all the pain and suffering that you went through, or that you were exposed to, or that you internalized, because it gave you the sort of catalyst to need to look at these things. If everything was all hunky-dory, you wouldn't have done this deep diving work, because you wouldn't have needed to. You would have just been fine being happy and living your life, but you never would have looked below the surface. So the pain that you experienced, or the suffering, or, whether it was physical, mental, emotional, or all of the above, or relational, it feels like you needed that as a catalyst in this lifetime at soul level to get you to dive deep, to get you to ask questions, to get you to look deeper. And that is what led to the keys that you would unlock all of these doors within your mind, within yourself, within your soul, to access this information and to create this transformation. I want to put it here on Scarab with transformation, but it also feels like it's connected to building blocks. It's like this transformation unlocked the doors that gave you the tools. And yeah, look at that. We've literally got a tool here. We've got the axe, to chop things up and to understand them in their bits and pieces, and then to reassemble them in a way that was more conducive to healing or growth. Yeah, you're definitely a transmuter, group number 3, like crazy good at it too. And you've got this black flower, which again speaks to me of purification, transformation. And I want to put it here on blindsided right over her eye. That is so bizarre. Why is that? You grew your consciousness. That's what they're showing me. It's like the flower blooming in the eye. It feels like you grew your consciousness in some way. You blossomed in your awareness of self. You began to see yourself differently because you started asking these questions about what's below the surface, and you came up with these pearls of wisdom, because you have another pearl here, right? You got the pearl on the white rabbit, and then you've got this one as well. Pearls of wisdom. And this one's like the little pink shell. So pink reminds me of the heart. I want to put it here on the heart. But they also did just say that this could also apply to influencers. So yeah, you speak from the heart. You speak from experience. You've been through it, group 3. Like you've probably had relationship issues, health issues, mental health issues, maybe all of the above. Wow. Yeah, you've been through the ringer. But that is what the silver lining to that is, that you you learned how to do these things for yourself, and you're going to teach others how to do it too. You've got the sun. You're a healer. That's what they just told me. You're a healer. You clean things up. You illuminate things for people. You shine the light into the darkness. And you also, it's not just that though. Like, you don't just show people what's wrong. You actually give them the tools to be able to fix it for themselves. I think that's why you're going to be writing the literal book on this, whatever it is, like shadow work, transmutation, physical healing, emotional healing, mental healing, relational healing. It's like somehow all of those pieces are going to be combined, and it forms like this castle of security. That's what it feels like. And you give people the brick and the mortar and the tools and the knowledge and the skill to be able to do that. And so people are going to be rebuilding their lives through what you're giving them. Holy shit, this is big. And you're going to be big. Like, you're going to be a fan favorite because you transform people's lives. People who've never even met you is what Spirit just said. Like, they never knew you in life, but they're going to benefit from the words that you put on paper. They're going to benefit from the information that you lived through, or the words that you speak, the videos you create, whatever it is. It's like their lives change because of you. And it's because you changed your own life. Whew. Oh my God. Girl, this is crazy. I love it. This is amazing. Group number 3. So I want to say kudos to you. And if you're not at this point yet where you've kind of amalgamated all this information and combined it into something that is usable in this way, just know that you will, and you're on the right path. And any suffering that you've been through in this lifetime, it's all kind of fodder for that. It's all they're showing me it's like kindling for the flames, and those flames are going to warm up your life. They're going to transmute everything. And like I said, they're going to help warm up other people's lives as well. They're really going to shed light onto things and help people to live in a better way. This is amazing. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say for you, group number 3. It's no wonder you're a fan favorite, or you're going to be a fan favorite, because you really are powerful. You have so much knowledge and wisdom, and people are really going to benefit from that. So are you. Yeah. Transform your life, transform other people's lives. Wow. All right. So yeah, that's what I see for you. I hope this reading helped and it was useful in some way. Yeah, thank you for being here. I appreciate you guys here on the channel supporting my work. If you want to support my work and get the added benefits of ad-free weekly pick-a-card readings and other pick-a-card style content, as well as monthly live streams where you guys can ask me personal questions and I'll pull cards for you, hit the join button down below, because that will give you access to the different options in terms of members-only content and the tiers available to you. And if you guys are wanting to go deeper in a more private fashion, I do offer services which you can find through my website, which is linked in the description box below. All right, guys, I will leave it at that. Sending you so much love and blessings to really, come into your fullness here in this lifetime. Much gratitude. Bye.